So here's a big one. My parents decided this summer that it was finally time for me to go to an actual overnight summer camp, the real kind, with tents and cabins and a whole week away from home, no parents, no familiar neighborhood, none of my regular friends coming along since Marcus, Tyler, and Devin were all busy with their own family stuff that same week. Just me completely on my own, heading off into the great unknown for 7 entire days. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous about this the whole car ride there. New place, new kids, no backup crew of friends to help me handle whatever chaos inevitably finds me. Because at this point in the summer, I've fully accepted that chaos just follows me around no matter where I go. My mom keeps reassuring me the whole drive that I'll make new friends easily, which fine, easy for her to say. She's not the one about to walk into a cabin full of complete strangers. We arrive at Camp Bright River, which, thankfully, looks nothing like the creepy abandoned Camp Pinewood situation from earlier this summer. This place is actually well maintained, with cheerful-looking cabins, a big lake for swimming, and counselors walking around wearing matching bright green shirts, looking generally enthusiastic about the whole camp experience in a way that feels almost aggressively positive this early in the morning. I get assigned to cabin 7, and when I walk in to find my bunk, there's already someone sitting on the bed next to mine, unpacking a suitcase that is, and I want to be very clear about this, filled almost entirely with flashlights. Like an unreasonable number of flashlights. I'm talking probably 15 or 20 different flashlights of various sizes, all neatly organized by size in his suitcase, which is honestly not something I expected to see on day 1. This kid introduces himself as Milo, and he seems friendly enough, if a little intense about his flashlight collection, immediately launching into this detailed explanation about lumens and battery life that honestly goes way over my head. I try to be polite about it, going, "Wow, that's a lot of flashlights." And Milo just nods very seriously and goes, "You can never be too prepared for the dark, Robi. Never." Which, sure, okay, slightly ominous way to phrase that, but I decide not to read too much into it. Throughout the first day, as we do all the normal camp activities, swimming, some team building games, a surprisingly competitive game of capture the flag, where I discover I have genuinely no athletic talent whatsoever, Milo starts revealing more and more our oddly specific interests. During lunch, he mentions he's been tracking unusual sounds in the woods near our cabin since he arrived, which, again, kind of ominous. But I figure maybe he's just really into nature stuff, like some kind of amateur wildlife recorder. That night, after lights out, things start getting genuinely a little weird. I'm just about to fall asleep when I hear this quiet rustling sound from Milo's bunk, and when I peek over, he's sitting up in bed, wide awake, holding one of his many flashlights, just staring intently at the cabin window. I whisper, "Milo, what are you doing?" And he whispers back, dead serious, "Shh, watching for the lights." Now, watching for the lights is not exactly a reassuring thing to hear from your tent buddy at midnight in an unfamiliar cabin in the woods. I ask him what he means, genuinely a little nervous at this point, and Milo explains, in this hushed dramatic whisper, that he's convinced there's something strange happening in the woods around our camp. Some kind of weird flickering lights he's apparently seen mentioned in old camp message boards online before coming here, and he's determined to document it during his stay. I spend a good portion of that first night lying awake, partially because Milo's flashlight watching vigil is honestly a little unsettling, and partially because my brain keeps replaying the whole Pinewood mystery from earlier this summer, wondering if maybe, just maybe, there's some genuine connection between old, abandoned camp mysteries and whatever Milo thinks he's seeing out there in these woods. The next few days follow a similar pattern. During the day, Milo is honestly a pretty fun camp buddy, actually really funny once he's not talking about mysterious woodland lights, and surprisingly good at capture the flag strategy, which helps make up for my own complete lack of athletic ability. But every single night, without fail, he's right back to his flashlight vigil, staring intently out the window, occasionally jotting down notes in this little notebook he keeps specifically for what he calls his light log. By day 4, curiosity finally gets the better of me, and instead of just lying awake nervously every night, I decide to actually join Milo's late-night watching sessions. Figuring if there's genuinely something weird happening out there, I might as well see it for myself instead of just hearing about it secondhand every morning. Milo seems genuinely thrilled to have a partner in this investigation, immediately handing me my own spare flashlight from his impressively organized collection. We sit together by the window for almost 2 hours that night, and honestly nothing happens, which starts making me think maybe this whole mysterious lights is just Milo's imagination running a little wild, probably from spending too much time reading spooky camp stories online before actually arriving here. But then, right around when I'm about to suggest we give up and go to sleep, we both see it. A faint, flickering light moving slowly through the trees, way off in the distance beyond the tree line, near our cabin. It's definitely there, definitely real, definitely moving in this weirdly deliberate pattern that doesn't look like normal flashlight movement. Milo practically vibrates excite, whisper shouting, "See, I told you. I told you something was out there." We watch this light for a solid 5 minutes, both of us equal parts terrified and completely fascinated, before it eventually just disappears entirely, like it was never there at all. Milo immediately starts scribbling notes in his light log, documenting the exact time, the general direction, how long it lasted, treating this whole thing with a level of scientific seriousness that honestly makes the whole situation feel a lot more legitimate than just some spooky campfire story. The next morning, still buzzing with curiosity about what we actually saw, we decide to mention it to our camp counselor, a college-aged guy named Jake, expecting maybe some kind of dramatic explanation or confirmation that yes, something genuinely mysterious is happening in these woods. Instead, Jake just laughs, actually laughs pretty hard, and explains that what we probably saw is just Old Pete, this local guy who apparently lives in a small cabin on the other side of the woods, who likes taking nighttime walks with his lantern because he says it helps him think. This explanation, admittedly, is significantly less exciting than either of us was hoping for. No ghost, no mysterious camp legend, no connection whatsoever to Camp Pinewood's abandoned history. Just an older guy who enjoys peaceful evening walks with a lantern, completely unaware that he's been unintentionally starring in some kid's elaborate mystery investigation notebook. Milo, to his credit, takes this anticlimactic explanation pretty well, actually laughing about it himself once the initial disappointment wears off. Well, at least we got some cool nighttime photos of the woods out of it. Which, even if the mystery itself turned out to be way less exciting than expected, the whole experience of staying up late investigating something together was honestly one of the more fun parts of my entire camp week. Over the remaining days at camp, Milo and I actually become genuinely good friends, bonding over our shared, admittedly slightly overblown, nighttime investigation. He even gives me one of his spare flashlights as a going-away gift on the last day, insisting that every proper investigator needs their own reliable light source, just in case any future mysteries happen to come my way. When my parents pick me up at the end of the week, I'm practically buzzing with stories to tell: the flashlight-obsessed tent buddy, the mysterious nighttime lights, Old Pete and his peaceful lantern walks, capture the flag disasters, all of it. My mom, listening to this entire rundown during the car ride home, just laughs and goes, "See, I told you that you'd make a new friend," which admittedly she was completely right about, even if the whole experience turned out way weirder and more mystery than either of us expected going in. So yeah, that's the story of how my very first overnight summer camp experience turned into an unexpected nighttime investigation alongside a flashlight-obsessed new friend, all over what turned out to be just a nice older guy enjoying his evening walks. Sometimes the best parts of an experience come from the unexpected friendships you make along the way, even if the actual mystery history itself ends up being significantly less dramatic than you originally hoped. Next time, I'm back home just in time for this whole weird thing happening with the old abandoned house at the end of my street. The one everyone in the neighborhood has some kind of ghost story about. And let's just say curiosity gets the better of me and my friends one more time. You are not going to want to miss what we find when we finally decide to check it out for ourselves. Subscribe so you catch it the moment it drops. And let me know in the comments if you've ever gone to summer camp and had a genuinely unforgettable tent buddy experience, because apparently mine set a pretty high bar. See you in the next one.